Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
After more than a year, the country's interagency task force will allow the entry of foreign tourists from green list countries or areas with low COVID risk, such as Indonesia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, mainland China, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Taiwan, and the United Arab Emirates. Malacanang says slowly opening up the country to foreign tourists is part of government's efforts to rebuild the economy, which has been severely affected by the pandemic.
Malaking bagay po para sa ating economic growth and development and the rebound of our economy ang tourism sector. At dahil green list naman po yan, ibig sabihin nasa green list sila dahil mataas ang vaccination rate po nila doon sa green list country.
But Nograles clarifies the interagency task force has yet to finalize details on the entry of tourists. Meanwhile, expect more relaxed entry protocols for inbound international passengers after the IATF approved shortened quarantine periods for areas with low and moderate COVID-19 risk. Beginning November 22, fully vaccinated foreign and Filipino passengers from green list countries no longer need to undergo facility-based quarantine if they are able to present a negative RT-PCR test result taken within 72 hours before flying to the Philippines. However, those who are not able to present a negative RT-PCR test would have to undergo facility-based quarantine until the release of a negative RT-PCR test result taken upon their arrival to the country. Passengers from yellow list or moderate risk countries such as the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom will still need to undergo facility-based quarantine. However, they will undergo RT-PCR testing on the third day of their stay and may be discharged as soon as they get a negative test result. This is as long as they are fully vaccinated and have been able to present a negative RT-PCR test result upon arrival to the country. They will, however, still be required to self-monitor for COVID-19 symptoms for up to 14 days. The Philippine Hotel Owners Association says they're prepared for the influx of tourists.
Quite happy with the guidelines that have been released, particularly with the easing of restrictions on inbound travel. Of course, we would also like to see some financial assistance by way of low-interest loans to help some of our hotels that are still struggling.
Those who are not fully vaccinated will need to quarantine until the release of a negative RT-PCR test taken on the 7th day of their quarantine. Meanwhile, passengers are not allowed to enter the Philippines regardless of their vaccination status if they had been to red or high COVID risk countries in the last 14 days, except for returning Filipinos on repatriation flights. They, however, will still need to complete 10 days of quarantine and undergo an RT-PCR test on their 7th day.
After 3 leaders of the Church of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ were charged with immigration fraud in January 2020, the U.S. Department of Justice is filing a superseding indictment against the church and its founder and lead pastor, Apollo Quiboloy, accusing him of sex trafficking. According to federal officials, the sex trafficking charge was brought about after the church allegedly forced young women to have sex with Quiboloy, and if they resisted, they were threatened with eternal damnation. This additional case against Quiboloy and other key officials of his church came about after allegedly victimizing women as young as 12 years old to 25 years old. In 2020, 3 church leaders were charged. Amanda Estopare, Marisa Duenas, and Gia Cabactulan were arrested and then released as the case is still pending. Charged with Quiboloy for sex trafficking were International Administrator Teresita Tolibas Dandan, Felina Salinas, Bettina Padilla Rosas, and Maria de Leon. The alleged victims of Quiboloy are under the care of federal authorities and NGOs based in Los Angeles, and they've been advised not to speak to the media as of yet. A single charge of sex trafficking in the U.S. holds a penalty of up to life imprisonment. Pastor Quiboloy's legal team slams the indictment as another attempt to bring him and Kingdom of Jesus Christ leaders down. Attorney Israelito Torreon asserts the Kingdom of Jesus Christ remains steadfast and committed to faithfully respond to its mission, despite what he says are detraction efforts made against it. Torian also claims Kibuloy and all kingdom leaders have been maliciously accused, but they express confidence and readiness to face whatever is hurled against them. Kibuloy is a close friend and the spiritual advisor of President Rodrigo Duterte. Meanwhile, Malacanang seems to be distancing itself from the controversy.
He's a private individual, and I'm sure he is capable of getting the proper legal advice.
Nograles assured that the Philippine government will be respectful of any extradition request, but Philippine Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara says there have been no requests for extradition from the U.S. so far for any members of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, including Kibuloy.
While I can say that these are speculative, no? These are all speculative. Ang bansang Pilipinas naman po ay laging nagko-cooperate, no? Pagdating sa extradition or processes of extradition. So we will cooperate if magkaroon man ng ganyan, whether kung sino man yan, magko-cooperate po ang Pilipinas.
Nograles added that the president himself would be best to give a personal comment about his friend and advisor.
Pagdating po sa mga personal relationships ni Pangulo, hayaan na lang po natin na magsalita si Pangulo tungkol po dyan.
Kibuloy faced a rape charge in Davao in 2020, but that case was dismissed and is now being appealed at the DOJ.
Malacanang asserts the Duterte administration's anti-illegal drug campaign does not discriminate based on wealth and social status.
Hindi naman po. In one of my reports to the President sa mga talk to the people niya, binagit po namin doon lahat ng mga high-value targets na nakasuhan na, nahuli na natin at arrested na and being prosecuted. No? So, hindi po ito, wala po tayong sinasanto dito, walang pinipili, social rank or status. Lahat po yan, basta sangkot sa droga ay kakasuhan natin, hulihin natin, ipoprosecute po natin.
This after President Duterte on Thursday dropped a bombshell that one of the presidential candidates is using cocaine.
There's even a presidential candidate na nag-cocaine. May kandidato tayo na nagko-cocaine yan. Yung mga anak ng mga mayaman.
Duterte did not identify the presidential candidate allegedly using illegal drugs, but declared that the person has been riding on the popularity of his father.
He is a very weak leader, ang karakter niya. Except for the name. Pero ang tatay, what contribution has he made para sa Pilipinas? Yan lang, gusto ko lang tanongin ng hindi naman sabang bakit ang Pilipino parang lukong-luko na suporte. Magtanong lang ako sa inyo, ano ang ginawa niyan?
Vice President Leni Robredo meanwhile dares the president to file a case against the candidate if he has the evidence.
Kung merong ebidensya, kailangan kasuhan. Kasi ito yung nakasaad sa ating batas. Hindi dapat ito dinadaan sa ganitong paraan.
Partido Lakas ng Masa Bet, Calyodi de Guzman also urges the president to order the arrest of this drug-using candidate and the cocaine supplier. Another presidential bet, Senator Panfilo Lacson, refuses to comment except to say that he's sure Duterte was not referring to him. Other presidential bets like Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Domagoso, Senator Bongo, and Senator Manny Pacquiao meanwhile stressed the need for aspirants to undergo drug testing. But COMELEC spokesman James Jimenez says the Supreme Court already thumbed down a plan to require candidates to submit a negative drug test. He adds, based on the rules, substance abuse is not a reason to disqualify a candidate. Former Senator Bongbong Marcos did not comment on the president's allegation, but in a radio interview, his lawyer says they do not feel alluded to. But in a PDP event Thursday, Duterte directly criticized Bongbong Marcos, calling him weak and a spoiled child.
Hindi ako naninira ng tao. Talagang weak. Kasi spoiled child, only son. Of course, he can talk. He delivers English articulate. Pero ang-aral kasi kung saan-saan sa labas. Pero kasabihin mo may crisis, gano'n. He's a weak leader. At saka may bagahe siya. Noon nga sinasabi ko sa inyo.
Duterte's criticism is a turnaround from his previous comments. In 2018, Duterte said he would resign if a qualified person like Bongbong Marcos was in place to take the top job.
U.S. President Joe Biden on Tuesday banned members of the Nicaraguan government from entering the United States. It's part of a broader response to Nicaragua's elections that Washington says were rigged in favor of President Daniel Ortega. The ban applies to all elected officials, as well as Ortega's wife, security force members, and anyone seen as undermining democracy in the country. Canada and Britain have also slapped sanctions on officials. Ortega, a former Marxist guerrilla leader, has jailed political rivals and cracked down on media. Many analysts are sceptical whether new measures will have much impact, as previous sanctions and freezing of assets have done little to deter Ortega. Last Friday, the Organization of American States, or OAS, adopted a resolution saying Nicaragua's election lacked democratic legitimacy. 25 nations voted in favor and 7 abstained, including Mexico, Honduras and Bolivia. Now Nicaragua may be pulling away from the group. Nicaraguan lawmakers on Tuesday approved a law that calls on Ortega to denounce the democratic charter of the OAS. Gustavo Perez is president of Nicaragua's Congress.
It is in itself disrespectful, illegitimate, and absolutely ignorant of the principles that led to the foundation of this international organization.
It's a move that another lawmaker said would be a prelude to Nicaragua leaving the organization.
Get ready for the ultimate in fresh produce, barbecue, seafood, sushi, and more. Meals made easy. Kimchi with wow. Our dishes make you a star. H-Mart.
This is the future. Forget what you know about currency, commerce, investment. The age of Bitcoin is upon us. And now anyone, anywhere can turn cash into crypto with a coin flip ATM. Booyah.
With low fees and 24/7 support, CoinFlip makes crypto so flippin' easy. Go to coinflip.tech to find an ATM near you.
ViaTimes, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. ViaTimes for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. ViaTime has very interesting columnists. You name it, ViaTimes has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call ViaTimes at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, we have a very interesting personality, a very popular businesswoman in our community, and she's also a Hall of Famer. And she, as far as I'm concerned, she doesn't need any more introduction, but let me introduce to you Miss Nena Mondonedo Perez. Hi, Nena. Welcome to our show.
Hello. Good afternoon, Tita.
And okay, you know, November is Entrepreneurial Month celebration, and I think you are the best person to represent our community to talk about business or your entrepreneurship. You are the founder of cosmetic company. Please introduce yourself to our viewing audience. Nena.
Sure. Thank you very much, Tita. Thank you for having me. Such a pleasure and an honor to be here at your show. And thank you for the kind words. Yes, I am Nena Mondonedo Perez. I am the founder and CEO of Nena Brands International. It's a cosmetic company based here in Chicago, and we have locations in Asia, in Dubai, and Africa.
All right, terrific. So how old is your company?
The company is founded 12 years ago. It's been 12 years.
It's been 12 years. I can't believe it.
Yes.
Yeah. You also have another business that is really outside of the cosmetic industry, and it's amazing how that you are promoting talents from the Philippines and all over. So Nena, how about this side business that you have?
Yes, Tita, I have started producing about 4 years ago. And it really started with me. I always sponsor concerts and different kinds of shows every time an artist comes to Chicago. I always sponsor. I'm the makeup sponsor until such time that I thought that, you know what, let me try actually producing a show, which my very first show was Martin Rivera and Lani Misalucha in Masquerade. It's a show called Masquerade. And it was very successful. I have enjoyed it a lot. So since then, I have produced other shows. The most current one is I produce a JR show, and just been really doing it because of the pandemic. The makeup industry had slowed down a bit. So I figured that, let me explore something else. I have partnered with a gentleman that is actually well known in the entertainment industry, and he is actually a concert producer, artist management company that he has, and we had teamed up together to produce shows, and we actually have several projects still till the end of the year, and next year will be a very big year for Nena Brands International in production, in the cosmetic world, and PSHI Management Group.
So I think you are doing the promotion aspect of the business just for fun, right? Just for fun, and to bring fun to the community. Enjoyment.
Oh, of course, Tita. Like, that's my ultimate goal, really, is to have fun. Of course, at the end of the day, just like anything, we can't lose money. No one wants to lose money, but we produce shows. I produce shows to bring joy and happiness to the Filipino community. I myself enjoy it so much. So I usually produce artists that are friends of mine that I have, known before or known to be loved by the community, that sort of thing. So yeah, for sure. This is something that I bring back to the community, and I hope to be able to do it more, with different shows, especially now that things are opening up, after the pandemic. It's time for us to start producing shows again. And, not only me, but other producers, we all try to support each other and our ultimate goal is to bring happiness to the community.
Has the pandemic affected your business, your main business, which is a cosmetic business? That started actually, when did the pandemic start? It started in 2020. So for the last 2 years, have you been affected by the pandemic because it's a beauty business, and I'm sure that you are.
Yes, Tita. Just like a lot of small businesses, my business in Illinois and in the Philippines, actually all over the world, even in Africa, have been affected with the pandemic. This is a world pandemic. It wasn't only here, and
yeah,
you know, it was very tough because, as we know, everything was shut down. I had a store at the fashion outlets of Chicago, and I had that store. It's a beautiful store, and it was doing really well. And when the pandemic hit, I held on as long as I can, but eventually I had to close it because the mall had a lot of guidelines, especially for makeup. We can't touch faces. We could only do one person at a time in the store. So it was becoming very difficult, and the rent and everything there was very high. So I had to make an executive decision to pull out from there for now. Not to say that we can't go back again. In fact, the mall has been contacting me. That same mall, Fashion Outlets of Chicago, they have a mall in downtown Chicago in Michigan Avenue. So, they have been contacting me. They like what I did in the mall. So, and we did so well. So, we don't know. Maybe if next year, if things things go like how it's going right now, it seems like things are getting better. Who knows? We might have another store there, or we have other plans though for Nena Cosmetics. We have bigger plans for Nena Cosmetics. So I'm not pandemic hurt us, but I'm not stopping, Tita. We keep on trekking. We keep on going.
I know it, Miss Nena. You are a very tenacious person, and I know that you will keep on pursuing whatever you want to pursue. And my question is, why did you select the area of cosmetic as a business?
Well, I'm an accountant by profession, and right after college, I actually worked for the beauty industry as an accountant, and I worked for 5 years as an accountant for an upscale distributor of beauty products here in Illinois. And I quickly found out and realized that I am bored with being in my office crunching numbers all day. I wanted to be with people. I wanted to explore products, work with people. So, I changed careers from being an accountant. I actually went to the salon and spa industry. I became, most of my experience was in the salon and spa, managing salon and spa. I was a spa director for many years. And then, I also worked for MAC Cosmetics. I wanted to learn makeup. That was my passion. And my passion, I turned to business. And I've been very blessed so far to be able to have my passion be my business, be my bread and butter.
Yeah.
So it's been like that. It's all I know for the past 26 years. It was always been in the beauty industry.
Yeah, and I love your products. They're really, I think what the products that you're that you are producing for the community is really good for the colors, our colors, Filipinos. But when you go to other countries, you also have other tints of colors, like you have to adapt to the colors of the skins of the customers in each country that you have to go to, right? Is that how your product set to be in when you go internationally?
Yes, yes, that's how I do it. When we launched it in the Philippines, obviously this is all Filipino skin type, and I adapted it to not only the skin type, but the weather out there, the weather being tropical country, so it's hot. So I made products that don't melt in your skin. I made products that are not clogged pores, not to be oily, that long lasting, that sort of thing. And the same thing when I launched my product line in Africa, it's very similar to the Philippines as far as the weather is concerned, but the skin tone is different. So I have to create colors in my foundation line to fit their skin tone.
Terrific. So before we sign off, Nena, what kind of advice can you give to our viewing audience about cosmetic products that you're producing?
That my makeup line is not only makeup, is makeup with skin caring formulation. It's paraben free, it's fragrance free, no chemicals that we use. I only use the top class A ingredients, so I don't shortcut things. I don't sacrifice quality for, to make more money. It's really the quality of the product is my number one. And I don't only try to sell products. I try to, education is very important to me. I educate women on how to apply makeup the right way.
The right way. So how to apply makeup the right way? Basically, how can you state how to apply product the right way? I mean, in words.
Yeah, a lot of women think that, they shy away from makeup because they really don't know. And, if you have the right product in your hand and the right shades of products in your hand, it should not be brain surgery. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're out the door. And less is more, like you don't have to put too much, we're all about, Nena Cosmetic is all about enhancing the beautiful features of a lady. So it's not making a lady look like a clown, but actually taking something and enhancing it, making your eyes pop, making your lips pop, whatever features you have that's beautiful, we're gonna make it pop even more. That's how I teach my workshops. I have been doing workshops since 12 years ago with small groups and big groups, and that's how I teach them. I teach when I say also how to apply products and how to wear makeup. There's different makeup for different occasions. Evening makeup is not necessarily what you would wear for day makeup, and so forth. Like if you're in the office, you can't look like you're going clubbing in an office setting, and in the wedding setup, you have more glamour, so that's what, women have to know how to apply and how to wear makeup in different occasions.
Nena, while you're speaking, I am admiring your face, and looks so smooth and silky and just so beautiful. I really just enjoy watching you.
Same here, Tita. Same here. I'm looking at you. You're so beautiful too. Your skin is flawless.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. With me, it's more of my DNA, but I also would like to experiment other makeups too from time to time. Wow. All right. It's just so amazing. our topic is amazing, and you are an amazing person. Nena, I just look at that face. I'm telling you.
Thank you, Tita. I'm like not even have a lot of makeup right now because we've been running all over, and we woke up early this morning. We have a few things that we're running around, but that's what nice thing about Nana Cosmetics. It's just a little bit of makeup, and you apply it the right way. I usually have my lips as in my trademark, so I'm good as long as my lips is put together.
I like the way you did your lips. I should attend your workshop one of these days. And
Yeah, Tita.
it's so fantastic. So that is what you call heart shape. Heart shape lips. And well known, Nena, I really enjoyed talking to you today, and I look forward to your more frequent appearances in our show to really enlighten our audience out there. And here she is, Miss Nena Mondonedo Perez, Mondonedo Perez, right? Of Nena
Yes,
Brands of Cosmetics. Say bye to our viewing audience. Paalam na po. Paalam na.
Thank you, Tita. Paalam. Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat, Tita, for inviting me, for having me in your show. I hope I get to be interviewed again or visit your show again. Thank you so much, Tita.
Hanggang sa muli, Aling Nena.
Hanggang sa muli. Happy Merry Christmas. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Bye.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po. Hello viewers. Once again, this is Pastor Ed Cortez from Faith Family Worship Center in Chicago. I have been going through the book of Isaiah these past days, and I would like to share with you the story of King Hezekiah. All right, his story is found in chapter 38 and 39 of the book of Isaiah. Hezekiah was the 13th king of Judah. He was one of Judah's godly kings. He initiated a lot of spiritual reforms by demolishing idolatry worship in Judah and calling for priests and Levites to sanctify themselves for service unto the Lord. Well into his reign, he experienced a serious illness. The prophet Isaiah informed him that he would die. And this is what Isaiah said to him: "Set your affairs in order, for you are going to die. You will not recover from this illness." Well, Hezekiah turned his face to the wall and he prayed, and then he broke down and wept bitterly. And this is what he said: "Remember, O Lord, how I have always been faithful to you and have served you single-mindedly, always doing what pleases you." Well, God heard his prayers and gave him, amazingly, an additional 15 years of life. Now God doesn't do this all the time. He's sovereign of all, and we have to humbly submit to his plans and purposes, no matter what they are. In reality, many of us have been given a lease on life on many occasions. If we have recovered from sickness, or God has rescued us from certain accidents, we can say that God has given us a new lease on life, and there's a reason for that. Well, because God extended King Hezekiah's life, he wrote a thanksgiving prayer and a song of praise. And this beautiful prayer is found in chapter 38 of Isaiah. And if you have the chance, read it. It's a beautiful, powerful prayer. And I'm just going to go quickly over his prayer and point out three things. There are three remarkable things about the prayer of Hezekiah in chapter 38 of Isaiah. First, we will notice in his prayer that God gave him a new appreciation of life. He started his prayer with these words in verse 10. I said, in the prime of my life, must I now enter the place of the dead? Am I to be robbed of the years, of the rest of my years? You know, the lesson for us here is that when God saves us from certain harm or accident, when He heals us from our sicknesses and diseases, we should learn to appreciate the value and meaning of life more. You know, God has rescued us so many times, like what I said in the past. He healed and restored us from many sicknesses before. Let's use the remaining days of our lives to love Him, and serve His people. The second thing we could see in the prayer of Hezekiah after he experienced the miracle of God in his life is that he had a new appreciation of prayer. He said in verses 13 and 14, I waited patiently all night. My eyes grew tired of looking to heaven for help. I am in trouble. Lord, help me. See, with these words, we see that King Hezekiah had a new appreciation of prayer. If anything, sicknesses and trials and tribulations in this life should teach us to pray fervently and passionately. Hezekiah's prayer became more fervent and passionate. When we experience troubles in life, they should lead us to pray more and depend upon God more. Then lastly, the third thing that the prayer of Hezekiah shows us is that after he was given another lease on life, he had a new appreciation of opportunities for service. He said in verse 15, now I will walk humbly throughout my years. Lord, your discipline is good, for it leads to life and health. You restore my health and allow me to live. I will sing His praises every day of my life in the temple of the Lord. See, there was a new humility in King Hezekiah's walk, a deeper love for the Lord in his heart, and a new song of praise on his lips. So I'd like to end this short devotional with this verse found in Psalm 90, verse 12. Teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. God bless you, my friends, and see you next time.
Good afternoon. This is Brigitte, Carino, Cueter bringing you this week's local news from our community. In honor of the 7th Annual National Apprenticeship Week, Governor J.B. Pritzker issued a proclamation highlighting the importance of apprenticeships in expanding career opportunities for Illinoisans of all backgrounds and ages. The Pritzker administration has prioritized expanding access to apprenticeship programs, making critical investments in legislation and programming to reduce barriers to high-wage jobs. Apprenticeships provide Illinois workers the skills they need to learn on the job while still earning a salary. They also pave the path for long-term success and well-paying jobs for thousands of workers across the state, said Illinois Department of Labor Director Michael Kleineck. Earlier this year, the administration launched the new Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program, made possible through $10 million in state funding. The program will provide additional training opportunities with the goal of expanding the talent pipeline while boosting diversity specifically within the construction industry and building trades. In the first quarter of fiscal year 2022, July through September, the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency has issued more than $29 million in water infrastructure loans to 7 local governments and sanitary districts. These low-interest loans are made possible through Illinois EPA's State Revolving Fund program, which provides funding for wastewater, stormwater, and drinking water projects. 5 out of the 7 loan recipients qualified for a total of more than $5 million in principal forgiveness, providing additional benefits to those recipients. Every community in Illinois should be equipped with clean drinking water, as well as a functional wastewater infrastructure to protect homes and businesses from flooding. Thanks to the Rebuild Illinois Capital Plan, millions of dollars are being invested in communities across the state to make that goal a reality, said Governor Pritzker. This round of $29 million in grants will provide funding for significant infrastructure improvements to communities, providing necessary upgrades that will improve the health and safety of residents. The Illinois EPA State Revolving Fund continues to provide essential funding to allow communities to address aging and deteriorating wastewater and drinking water infrastructure, said Director John Kim. Here's a new report from Inspection Support Network looking at the U.S. metropolitan areas with the oldest housing. The median value of owner-occupied housing units built since 2010, $339,039, is more than $50,000 greater than those built just in the decade prior, $288,500. All else being equal, a majority of homebuyers express a preference for new houses. But given the constraints on the supply of new housing, many more homebuyers are looking to stock of existing homes as a desirable option. Researchers ranked metros according to the median age of existing housing units and included the percentage built prior to 1940 as well as the percentage built since the year 2000. In the Chicago metropolitan area, 14.6% of existing housing units were built since the year 2000, compared to 20.7% built prior to 1940. Overall, the median age of Chicago homes is 49 years. Out of all large U.S. metros, Chicago has the 14th oldest homes. Here's a new report from Porch looking at the best U.S. locations for single millennials. In 1950, the median age at first marriage was 20.3 for women and 22.8 for men. By 2020, that had increased to 28.1 for women and 30.5 for men. The result is that currently only about 44% of millennials are married, compared to 53% of Gen Xers, 61% of baby boomers, and a whopping 81% of silents when they were similar ages. Whether uncommitted by choice or actively seeking to find the right partner, single millennials generally benefit from living in areas with other people their age, large single populations, healthy job markets, and plenty of food and entertainment options. Researchers generated a composite score for locations according to these factors and ranked metropolitan areas accordingly. Millennials make up 22.8% of the Chicago metro population, and in total, 36.3% of Chicago millennials are single. Based on the composite score generated from the factors included in the analysis, Chicago is the 7th best U.S. metro for single millennials. Illinois Secretary of State and State Librarian Jesse White encourages families to read together at home to celebrate Illinois' annual Family Reading Night on Thursday, November 18th. This is a night when families across the state are urged to spend time reading together at home, White said. Reading as a family creates a positive learning environment and helps children develop language skills, comprehension, and a love for reading that can last a lifetime. Family Reading Night is officially celebrated across the state on the third Thursday in November. This year's theme continues with a promotion of the Illinois Library Association's summer reading theme, Reading Colors Your World. The Illinois State Library distributed thousands of colorful posters and bookmarks to libraries, schools, and literacy programs across the state to promote Family Reading Night to families. Many Illinois libraries, schools, and literacy programs will host local programs. Secretary White encourages the public to contact their local library about program availability. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Brigitte. See you next time.
Yes. more fun in the Philippines.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. This is Melody Dizon, your Health Matters host. And today I do have a special guest for you guys. I know it's been a while that I haven't seen you, or maybe you haven't seen me, but here I am. And my special guest today is no other than Satish John. He is from Alora Home Health Software. And I just had the pleasure of meeting him yesterday. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. And basically his business is giving software to and providing software to home health agencies. So we're here today just to kind of talk about a little bit about the Alora Home Health and how it can help, or how it has helped other agencies. So good afternoon.
Hello.
How
Thank
are you
you.
doing?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for being, okaying me to do this with you.
Well,
So I was
thanks for
telling,
the opportunity. Yeah.
Sure. So telling people about Alora Home Health Software. What made you think to do this business? What you're doing now? What pushed you? What moved you?
Yes. In 2005, I started Alora. Prior to starting Alora, I was exploring which aspect of healthcare I could develop a software, because my background was software development and I was in the healthcare industry for a long time. So after exploring different areas of healthcare, I identified that the growth potential for home healthcare is phenomenal. And also, there were no good software that were easy to use and offered at an affordable cost. So we wanted to solve the problem, providing home health software at an affordable cost for home health agencies for all aspects of their operation, including the financial, clinical, and operational aspects.
I think that is great. And truly, there is such a need because, home health care is here and will stay for a long time. But on top of that, there are regulations to be followed. There are compliance to be, compliance to set, and you have to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, because Medicare is our is our provider, is the one that's helping us. What Mr. John has told me earlier, that the reason and the birth of Alora Home Health Software is the fact that there's a need, right? Number one. There's a lot of home health agencies out there that will benefit from using your software, from financial aspect to clinical and to the operational side of things, which on my case, it's very helpful and very beneficial. And obviously the pricing is not that high. So
yeah, exactly.
So I see a lot of, technology is technology, right? You get so many information from technology. But doing what you do you think, how could it help the healthcare system by having developed the software?
So the ultimate goal for the software is that better care for the patients and operational efficiency for the agency, right? So you don't want agencies to hire too many staff to run their agency, because the payment is limited.
Correct.
And you want to be as efficient as possible. And when your caregivers go in the field and when they do the documentation, you want a solution that is user-friendly for them to use, and also guide them with the compliance. They help them to do their notes according to the plan of care, and if a caregiver doesn't complete the note, the system should validate and make sure that the document is complete. So that facilitates better patient care, and also that the ease of use helps the agency run their operations better. We use this motto: when work gets easier, there is no limit to what you can achieve.
I must agree.
So, right, yes. So that's the motto we operate by, to make things easier for the agency.
Oh, that is lovely, because no, truly, it drives better outcomes. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It drives better clinical decision making, because you have this information from the last visit, and this was the information from 2 weeks visit, and you look at things, summarize, compound everything, and say, okay, well, this is the best for the patient.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and I really think that will help with our healthcare situation. And the one thing too that I wanted to share is the fact that we're doing the data mining. When we data mine, and data mining, for people who don't know what that is, it's the clinical information that we put on the software, and then when somebody tries to open that software or goes to the patient's chart, everything is there already.
Yeah,
you don't want redundancy, right? No redundancy.
Yeah.
And you want to avoid any errors or anything like that.
Right. The data mining is very important to see the patient's outcome. Whether the patient is improving from 2 months ago or declining. So the software can make it easy to see visually. For example, Allura has a tool called Vitals Dashboard that can show all their vitals for over a period of time to see overall if the patient is improving, is their sugar level improving, is their wound healing,
correct,
all of that. Yes,
that's true. And I really think the kids nowadays can maybe take away from this, that whatever they're trying to do, it will all make sense later on. Maybe probably when you started, you're like, oh, I don't know how is this gonna, make out there with whatever you're doing, but it's technology and science together in one.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that something that's so nice?
Yeah, it's amazing. We think that our goal is to bridge the gap between technology and healthcare.
That's good.
And that's what we try to do. And when we started Allura back in 2005, we started with a basic back office solution.
Sure.
But as we started adding more and more customers, the system evolved based on the feedback from customers using it every day. So with the help of customers, it was easier to see what makes life easier for the agency staff. So the software kind of steadily matured according to that.
That's good. Yeah. So do you have any words or any kind of encouragement to our teenagers as to what they have to say regarding who's going to be going to college, and anything that you can impart to them? So when we started Allura, it appeared as an impossible task to cover all aspects of a home health agency operation into one software solution. But how we were able to achieve that was that keep working hard, focusing on a little bit every day. Take baby steps in improving what you have or what you do every single day. It's not hard to make a slight improvement every single day, but over a period of a long time, you look back and you would feel surprised that the long way you came from. That's right.
You can make big achievement by just taking baby steps every day.
Yeah. So how do you foresee the future? How do you think, or where do you think we will be between technology and science? I mean, I know that's a vast question.
Yeah.
Because there's just it's all to your taking, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the future for home health care is very bright because everybody, all patients they want to spend their time at home
Yes.
rather than anywhere else.
Mhm.
So is it possible to do acute care at patients' home?
Yes.
Right now, it's not easy. It is possible, but technology is going to evolve and make it more and more easier
And doable
to take care of patients, even in acute care. At home. So I feel that the technology will help to make home health care for everyone in many aspects of healthcare. That's what I think. Yeah.
Wow, I could only foresee it and I go, oh my gosh, the future is bright for everyone. Well, I do thank you for this time, Mr. John. Thank you for this opportunity that you've given me, and for the folks that you're hearing about this, people in the home health industry or in healthcare, Alora home health software is good. It's very, very good. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, I'll see you next time. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yan! Dito na!